Mike.
My name's not Mike.
Mike. Guess what day it is?
My name's not Mike.
It's track day. Well, good morning guys, welcome back to Bernie Rubber's Garage. Today we're at the track and it's track day. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to unload everything. Check your lug nuts, make sure they're nice and tight, and then check all your fluids levels. For the Corvette specifically, GM recommends running a half a core over maximum, and that's just to prevent any oil starvation issues. After all that is taken care of, you're going to want to go up and register. So most providers will have a registration desk where you can go and pick up a wristband. In this case, we've got a little sticker that we stick on our windshield, and that way it lets the pit crew know what class you're in. Today we're running in the solo event. Also today they have Apex Lap Attack running and a non-solo group. After registration, they have the drivers meeting and they go over a few of the safety tips, the different passing zones, and the way everything's going to run. So today for the schedule, each group gets 6 20-minute sessions. The solo group is up at 9:20 in the morning, so we've got a little bit of a break here before we get started. Now it's time for our first session. Let's get ready to go out on this damp track. First session is done. It's a little damp out there today. There's grip in places, but then in some other places there's no grip at all, especially in the braking zone. So it was definitely fun. So now that we're done, we want to check our hot tire pressures and change them accordingly. Okay, tire pressures are done. Next up, let's double check the oil. As the clouds began to roll in, so did the rain. Here's a little bit of footage from the next couple of sessions. I'll be back for a midday check-in. So you can see here just how wet it is. And that brings us to a conversation about the wet line. So the theory is that the dry line or the racing line has rubber on the track surface. That rubber becomes slippery when wet. So the wet line is finding the balance between the driest part of the track and avoiding that rubber that has been left on the track surface. For those that are interested, I've uploaded a full wet lap and a full dry lap to the channel. Be sure to check that out. If you're curious about lap times, the difference between this session and a dry session is about 20 to 22 seconds a lap. And that's looking at a dry lap time of about 1 minute 23 seconds, so it definitely slows things down. Some of that comes to tire choice, however a lot of it is just driver experience. I'm definitely not the best track driver out there, but I enjoy giving it a go. Midday report. Just finished our third session out there. Coming out of every apex, I felt the rear end just start to go. It was a lot of fun and a good learning experience. What I'm learning is that the car does suffer from understeer in these conditions. In the dry, I can feel a little bit of understeer, but in the wet, it really becomes apparent. You turn in, the car will slide out, and eventually you'll find grip, and that's when you can start turning for the apex and getting on the gas. Definitely a good experience for sure, driving in the wet. If you haven't done it, you probably will. So if you have a wet track day, the experience is definitely valuable. Well, how about all the interesting stuff that happens at a track day? In the morning, I saw this rabbit run across the track in front of me. There were quite a few cars that went off track, but luckily no one had any substantial damage. I had one close call, which you will see here. Luckily I managed to keep it on the track and drive away. And in the final session, a Miata went off right in front of me, which took out the cone. This is the car that collected it.
The lucky winner.
The lucky winner. Luckily there's no damage, but he grabbed that cone and took it into pit lane. Of course, there's always some banter going on at track days. My buddy in the BRZ, he loved it. He said it took away at least 200 of my horsepower, which brought my car down to his level. As the joke continued, my mate had to make an amendment to the Corvette's Z06 emblem. The rain started to disappear in the afternoon, and we ended up getting 2 full dry sessions in. Well, that's another successful track day. The last 2 sessions were dry and it was a lot more fun. I tried playing around with the wet line a little bit, but I definitely prefer the dry. As for lap times, in the wet I managed a 129, in the dry about a 126. The virtual best was showing as about a 123.1, so that sort of rings true with what I've done in the past. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please comment down below if you've got any comments, like the video, and feel free to subscribe. We'll see you next time.